Okay.
It's the Sunday service.
Nanny's late. I've been trying
The Super Dance Team. Discopia warning.
What I'm trying to do is play an intro.
Doobie-doobie-doo.
Has very helpfully made for me, but I don't think it's playing. Which is a bit of a nightmare. So can you just let me know that you can see me in the chat, because as ever, I've got a lot to learn about OBS, man. I've got a lot to learn about OBS. There's such a delay my end as well, in terms of what I can see on my own screen. So sorry, Aid Thompson of Aid Thompson and Other Disappointments built me this. Did it play? Did it play? You can't hear me? Oh, for fuck's sake. Can you hear me now? Hear me now? Is that better? Voice is very low. Well, that's fucking helpful, isn't it? Bear with me a sec. Sweet Mother of Christ. Now it's the Sunday service. I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, can you hear me a bit better now? Eerily quiet. Well, that's not good. Is that any better? Is that any better? Is that any better? Yeah, I don't know. I'm running on your loud and clear. You hear everything. Yes, Queen. Yes, yeah. Aid Thompson. You did you see the intro? Did you see the intro to this? About 50% volume. I have no idea how to do this. I'm still trying to learn how to figure out how to do what's it called? How to do 1 second. Okay, is the audio better now? Give me a thumbs up if the audio is better now, because that should be on my Yeti. Coming through in Greek. The video didn't play, but the audio did. What's going on, man? I'm going to see if I can play the intro, because it's very good, but I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to do it. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, loud now, brilliant. Okay, that's, oh my god, you guys could be like fucking with me for all I know. Okay, is that a little bit better? That just blew your ears off. Too loud now. Okay, better now. Oh my god. Okay, when this actually goes out, I'm gonna have to find a way to actually chop it down, because it's not ideal. Starting your streams with such a nightmare. Sounds like an announcer at Glasto. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my god, please guys, like please don't mess with me if you are, because I am struggling here a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. It is like play your cards right. Higher, lower, jump off a bridge. I've now got a Scouse accent. Oh, calm down. I can't do any accents, but I did dribble stuff down my own top, so that's a bonus. Welcome. Anyway, this is going to be the bit where I start the video. So welcome to the Sunday service with me, Supertansky, Free Eyes. It's going to be a bit of a free-for-all today, because I've not made content, as you all know, for video content for about a month, I would say. Like proper, like consistent content, and it's been kind of like falling off a cliff edge. I've got a Cockney accent. I love you guys. I genuinely love you guys, but you are doing my nutting, as Danny Dyer, our Lord and Saviour, would say. But no, I just want to give a quick brief explainer about why I've not been making content as regularly. And a lot of that is to do with the fact that I always feel like I'm boring people when I tell them about the immense stuff that I have to put up with online, but it is actually like another level, and something that's kind of tipped me over the edge a little bit in the last month has been having to collate quite an extensive amount of material for, you know, prospective legal action against a particular website that I can't go into too much detail about. And consequently, I had to basically spend 6 hours it took to collate 6,000 hate and harassment posts, some of which were defamatory, some of which were like massively ableist, some of which were very dark, which I think contributed to real life threats and harassment and such. So guys, I don't know what to do about the sound. Like, I'm doing the absolute best that I can. I don't know if that's going to make any difference now. But yeah, so and it kind of took me into a very bad frame of mind, which made me actually consider, for the first time in 5 years, just completely stopping everything. And I mean, like, deleting every single account that I have online, deleting all of my content. But even if I do that, there's not even any guarantee that it's going to stop, because they will still have access to everything that I've ever done, and they will dine out on it. I mean, just to put things into perspective, I had to private all of my kind of conceptual photography work. I was a photographer before all of this, because I found that it was being uploaded to wank sites. So even though the series was largely about trauma and reclaiming my own body, it had to be deleted. I've got 2 mics on. Fucking brilliant. Okay, bear with me a sec. Is that better? Is that better? Can you just tell me if that's better, please, before I proceed? I really don't know what to do. Bear with me a second. I don't know if it's the fan. I've got a fan on me. I don't know if turning the mic slightly away would help that. No echo now? Better. Okay. So yeah, there was... Thank you, darlings. Thank you for letting me know. So yeah, I don't know if there's... I didn't know what to do. I felt backed into a corner, and even if I delete like my Twitter or my Instagram handles, they will assume my identity and pretend to be me. And they've done that before on Twitter. They've got like, there's currently about 6 malicious profiles going at the moment. So I was just about to I went dark online for about the best part of a week, because I just couldn't bear to be on camera. Didn't want anyone to see me, just wanted to hide away. I'm doing a bit better now. My friends have been awesome, and I'm talking about probably the kind of political people that you guys all know and love. People like Graham, my good friend Graham Hughes of Politics Social, my good friend Aid, Hannah, who you might have seen on Politics Social. There's good old Scott, you know, and Rose Pierre, like Alex Kerr, Politics 2020 Political X, I think his name is on here. They've all been so supportive, and it's sorry, someone just said that someone sent me a WhatsApp message. Was that pretending to be me? I do not do that. Never respond to them. I can't keep up with them, the amount of people that claim to be me on the comments of my posts. I will never ask anyone to WhatsApp me, not least because I'm as ADHD as fuck, and I struggle to even keep up with like proper text messages from friends. So nothing like that will ever be me. Please report it as an impersonator. I try to keep on top of it, but they block me, or they prevent me from seeing them, so I can't actually get in there quick enough a lot of the time. Now, just want to say also, there's a difference between the kind of harassment that I receive and legitimate criticism. Like, there's people, even on YouTube, that I don't like. Like, I think that they take everything that I say out of context. But they're not what I would class as the kind of harassment style of stuff. I mean, we're talking people screenshotting everything you've ever done, going through all of your online history, trying to find, like, I've had people message people. I don't understand how they found out, because I keep my dating life very quiet. Not that there's a lot to report. But I do that. And I've had people trying to DM people that I've dated asking about my sex life, and threatening to revenge porn my ex because they found pictures from a really old Flickr account when I was just starting out with photography. And I've had my phone like hacked into. I've had people like hack into my bank accounts, my emails. So this stuff has just accumulated, and I've kind of carried on out of spite. But this week was the closest that I've come to just saying, sorry, I'm going. Like, I can't deal with this anymore, because it's affected my health really badly for the last couple of years in particular. I'm just going to pop through and look at some super chats. Thank you, guys. It's very kind of you to do that. I'm just scrolling back. Oh no, we're still on Echo Land at the moment. But yeah, that's a little bit of insight into why I've been quiet, and I will be back making regular content, even though I know YouTube is cracking down a little bit on UK political content. Like, there's been a bit of a downturn, and I don't know if that's just because people are just sick of how mad everything is, and they don't really want to know, which I don't want to know, you know, so I don't blame you. Alison Kerr, thank you, darling. £10. Funds what you've been through. Sound is better. Thank you for persevering through my various tech issues too, because God only knows what I'd do without you. Rest in peace, Brian Wilson. Francis Winrow, thank you for the £2 super chat. Very much appreciated there. Thank you. And Yuri Ninfektanov, I'm getting better at saying your name. Thank you for the £5 super chat. I'm digging the escape tunnel to Essex for your Scottish adventure. Keep going. That's how to beat the sea units. I'm actually thinking of going to Scotland at some point, hopefully later in the year. I wanted to, just before the pandemic hit, I was planning to do a solo adventure around Skye and the Outer Hebrides. And if I can afford it, which, you know, funds are a bit tight at the moment, especially because loads of really bad stuff's happened when I've had to take a break, which is always the way. Like, everything in your life just breaks and needs you to kind of spend money on it when you're broke because you've not been putting out anything, you know. Ad revenue's a massive help. So if you could please watch my videos without ad blockers, I'd really appreciate it, because that's my only guilt-free way to make any kind of profit from my videos. Not that I do it for that, but it doesn't hurt to, you know, because it involves quite a lot of research and getting things right, and I'd really appreciate it if I did have that kind of like ad revenue coming in. So if you could watch my videos, I'd really appreciate it. Listen to me moaning on like a twat. Veg pie, thank you, Yuri. Tunnels not needed. I can just get a plane or a train, you know, not an automobile unless I steal one, because I'm not allowed to drive. No, I've not been banned. I just don't have a license. Veg pie. So you've had a rum time. Fight. I intend to. I'm doing much better. I've been doing a lot of self-care over the last week. I used to think that self-care just meant wanking. Turns out there's a lot more to it than that. Apparently you've got to be nice to yourself in a way that doesn't involve the old, you know. So thank you for that. I'm just checking I've not missed anything else. Scrolling down. No, I think that's all the super chats for now. Let me know if I've missed anything. I don't think I have. Is it Johnny Mercer's wife? Spite has been my fuel for the last 5 years, but there comes a point when it just gets to you, you know. So yeah, there comes a point where it's just like, you know, blow after blow after blow after blow. And you're like, oh my God, can't cope with this. It's too much. Especially when I think that particular site doxed me to the extent that I had the gang R word and threat posted through my door without a stamp. Yeah. They do not like women talking. None of the male creators that I know get this. Not one of them. But yeah. Anyway, One Angry Pagan, what up? The Badger Clan from Politics Social loves you dearly. And I love the Politics Social crew. And I love Graham. He's having a wonderful time at Glastonbury, which I am not at all jealous about. The fact that he's at Glastonbury and he got to see my dearly beloved Pulp yesterday. If any of you have got a spare ticket, by the way, to the Sheffield gig on the 25th of July, hit me up. I'll pay face value and I'll buy you a beer. So just putting that out there, a shameless plea to the universe that if anyone's going and they want to, they've got a spare and they want a dickhead to come with them who will buy them beer, hit me up, because that's the only shot I'm going to get. They are playing a festival in France, but that's the same weekend that Smashing Pumpkins and Skunk and Nancy are playing in my hometown, which is going to be amazing. Darren Destar, great name. Oh, hello. We've got a little wild Fred has joined the chat here now. Fred, what do you think? Frederick, what are your thoughts on local events? No, nothing. Nothing. Got nothing to say. Darren Destar, thank you for the £20 super chat. Very kind of you. Get yourself a good cocktail next time you think you need one. Thank you. I like to make a French 75 myself, but I'm not someone that drinks a lot, but when I do, I tend to take the piss a little. So I'm actually sticking away from booze. I'm doing all the right things. I'm getting myself in shape. I'm doing my exercise again. I am going back to therapy. And only like once or twice a month because I'm not pissing gold at the moment. And I am I did bloody yoga this morning. Yoga. He ruined it. He got on the mat, right? I was laying there, I was like, namaste, motherfuckers. Namaste. And then all of a sudden it was like and Frederick started clawing things, didn't you, Fred? Have I made myself go mute? Shit. But yeah. Sorry, I've got a super chat here. I've just got behind the curve. Hi Tan, thank you for your content. Wondering, do you watch The Handmaid's Tale? So fucking accurate to reality. My friend Dale calls it the Tan Maid's Tale because he thinks that I look like the lead woman, Elizabeth Moss. He's convinced that we're the same person. She's awesome, by the way. But I decide not to watch it because as a woman, I live The Handmaid's Tale, as I've just been talking about, day in, day out. And with, right-wing politicians being increasingly funded by right-wing extremist Republican anti-abortion groups who are also very anti-LGBT. And if you've heard Rachel Reeves talk, she's awesome. She knows all about this, the links to the Heritage Foundation, the fact that it's kind of like stripping away these rights of the trans, so they're coming for the transies, and then they're going to come for the women, and then they're going to come for, all of that. They're going to come for everybody. Eventually, and I'm hoping I've used that word right because I hear Rachel use that word. It's not the bad T word, so I'm using the word that Rachel uses, and I hope I'm allowed to. I hope I'm not like appropriating there, or that it's not. God fucking hell, God forbid it's a slur. So Witchy Goth, thank you again. Thank you, Al, for that. Thank you, the Witchy Goth, £2 super chat. Love you, sisters. Stay strong. We're the witches they couldn't burn. I was talking to someone last night, very affable chap, and he was telling me that I would have definitely been burned during the witch trials. And I can think of a fair few men in life who would have been the men to drag me there. But yeah, blah blah CW, £2 super chat. We miss you on Friday Night Social. I'll be back. I'll be back on Graham's post Glastonbury one, if only to roast him. And I'm hoping to do a show with him and Hannah about the abortion legislation and all of that stuff pretty soon. Richard Marsden, my G, what's up? $4.99 super chat, thank you. Previous super chat, we love you, Tan. You speak to us, we are with you, my friend. Oh, thank you. You're all lovely. You're all so bloody lovely. Dodger, member for 21 months. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Andy Thompson, £10 super chat. Here's a little bit that you don't have to share with Graham et al. Missed your content and your truth to power. Well, I have actually got 3 scripts ready to go. I've just been waiting for my mind to fix itself a little bit. It's been a bit of a, oh shit, like my cat's tail just freaked me out then. It has been a bit of a trying time. And I've not really wanted to be on camera at all. So it's a bit nerve-wracking coming back today. But I feel like I'm amongst friends in this group. You're always also lovely. Walked 12,000 steps and weights this morning. Francis, you are a warrior. Alistair Kerr sent 5 Super Tansky gift memberships. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you for that. And now we've got One Angry Pagan. Boom. Sarah Davies. Boom. The Witchy Goth. Boom. Rob Wales. He is gorgeous. Yeah, he is a little bit, isn't he? Peter Core, mate. Hello. Legend who runs... I've got an itchy nose. I'm not picking it. Richard Core, who's the Rejoin EU... campaign lad, does the march and the It's Always a Good Day Out. You should go and hang out with those legends. And Winston. So boom. What's bloody yoga? It's what all those bloody hippies are doing at Glastonbury, isn't it? Apart from the kind of, I don't know, the cast of Cocoon who went to see Fash Rod Stewart nosh off Farage for about, God, I don't know how long they gave him. Too long. Alan Jackson, £10 super chat. So you have to put up with the complete bleeps. You can't say it, but I can say it. Fucking wankers. That's what they are. Oh, and Putty Cat. Frederick, say hello. It's being a bitch. So yeah. Sorry, I'm catching up on the chat. I'm just trying to get to the bottom. I'm just wondering if I've missed one. No, I haven't. I don't think I've missed a super from you lads, so thank you so much. And ladies and all in between. So Glastonbury, dear God. Wish that I had not watched Glastonbury yesterday, frankly, because I always get fear of missing out. And watching Pulp tear the roof off. And I saw Graham's flag right at the front, his woke as fuck flag with the, I think it's the progressive trans flag thing fluttering. It was right at the front. It's got like I think the delightful Mike Dix, the man that we all call Sexy Santa, I think that he made the design for the flag that Graham was waving, and it actually got on the telly. I saw it, and Graham cried and I cried because I wasn't there, and I've been very emotional lately, and I think it's a good thing. I've been letting out my emotions. I cry at the drop of the hat anyway. Like, I'll cry if I see a pigeon and he looks lonely. I'll be like, oh, want to give you a hug, you know. But there was a bunch of things that went on. Pulp were epic, obviously. And again, I will say, if anyone's got a spare ticket to Tramlines on the 25th and they want to sell it to me, and I will buy you beers, I will come up to Sheffield and hang out with you. So drop me a DM on Instagram or something. I'll check my requests for once. I'll wade through the knob shots that I have in my message requests on Instagram and look for it. But there was a bunch of things that went down. There was obviously Kneecap, who the BBC pulled the live recording of as an act of wanton censorship. And, you know, Kneecap musically aren't really my cup of tea, I must admit, but I admire their moxie and their balls for standing up for what they, you know, really believe in. Like, I think that's important. I think that if they were right-wingers, no one would bat an eyelid. Not that there's any good right-wing bands, are they? I mean, Mumford & Sons are proof of that, aren't they? But you know, Viva Palestina, as they say. And they did a very good job. I mean, they're obviously, they don't hold back. But resistance has never historically been polite. They would have made the suffragettes terrorists nowadays. And then, just because Bob Vylan, who is also massively stood up for Palestine, Bob Vylan has been pretty militant on this from the onset. And he went pretty hard with it. I mean, some of the stuff that he said was, you know, D word to the IDF, etc. I don't want to get my stream pulled. I don't want to get pulled from YouTube, so I'm going to censor myself a little bit. But we all know what Bob Vylan was saying. Bob Vylan's also epic. If not only for the line in one of his songs, which is "Let's go dig up Maggie." Let's go dig up Maggie's grave and ask her where my milk went, is one of his wicked lyrics. But he kind of tended to go a little bit, he went off the deep end a little bit. And even watching it, I was like, oh, God, this is going to cause some controversy. A black man saying this, that of course the rags are going to lose their mind because the only kind of anger that's allowed is white and right, isn't it? But I love Bob Vylan. Bob Vylan is if not only for the brilliant punning on his name, but everything that he stands for. So that happened, and there has been pearl clutching aplenty, and all the people that were like Lucy Connolly for inciting the burning down of hotels during an active series of far right riots, right? All those people are like should be locked up. Bob Vylan should be locked up. And I was like, oh, what, for saying hurty words? You know, they don't like it up them, as the saying goes. So there was that, the hypocrisy of that. I just think that I think you guys are actually possibly mistaking or just taking the piss. I'm not talking about Bob Dylan. It's Bob Vylan. So there was that, and then today I tuned in just in the hope that someone had made like a piss trebuchet to hurl the distance at Rod Stewart. But frankly, they did not need to, because it looked like, the only way I can describe it, as I did in a tweet, is that it looked like a safeguarding issue. It looked like someone's fash great aunt had been let out of the retirement home and allowed to, you know, just stiffly shimmy and get out of breath. I was thinking about like laying bets down on whether or not he was just gonna like halfway through the show. He couldn't handle it. He could not handle it. You're getting plosives. Okay, I've got my thing on. But yeah, it was really embarrassing. I mean, objectively, but the fact that the guy decided to come out with this information like days before attending what is a predominantly left-wing festival was bizarre. I don't know if he was trying to get like some form of relevance, but he laid into Elton John, who is alleged. Elton John's like always been, I'm still standing Elton John for Brexit, because I'm so sad. Aid and I had to leave before Elton John the year that we went, so I just went home and wished I was still there and cried, and then attempted to scrub 5 days of dirt off myself. But yeah, it was really shockingly bad. I mean, Dom Jolly managed to get on the TV saying that he wasn't sure if we were going to get the Pimlico plumber. Another tweet that was really good was someone saying that they tried to scale the fence at Glastonbury, but the security pulled them back and forced them to watch the rest of Rod Stewart's set, which is like brilliant. One of the funniest jokes that I've seen about Glastonbury so far. So well done, that lad, whoever he. Shit. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna start that again. Am I still, I'm not muted now, no? Am I still muted? It doesn't seem like I'm muted. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I still muted? I've put it back on. I've put it back on. Mate. Mother of fuck. I'm going to do it again. Third time a charm. Okay, I'm going to do it now, Kathy, because I'm doing it for the third time. Please don't say it's gone again. I've not touched the fucking mic. Okay, Kathy, because I'm having to do this for the third time, I'm going to do it as the Queen. Okay? I'm going to do it as the Queen. Okay. Kathy Mitten, £9.99 super chat. Can't bear Glastonbury myself. Too visceral for my tastes, but hey, whatever floats your boat. Thank you for the support. RE Trans Issues. Thank you. thank you for that. And you don't need to thank me for my support, because it's just called being a decent human being who accepts that everyone has the right to live their lives however the fuck they want to, isn't it? Oh my god. Richard Grumpy Git, £5 super chat. His message is, have a fiver, Technan. I wish you were wrong. Wish you were wrong. Notice that nobody's complimenting my terrible accent of the Queen. Oh, Liebchen, thank you, darling. Thank you. Andrew is a sweaty nonce. A sweaty nonce. I don't know if you've seen the coverage of... There was an article by... I think it was the Times or the Tory Graph or something, in which it's got a picture of Fromage sitting, claiming to be a man of the people, in a pretty expensive and elite members club. Yeah. At this point, I just feel like it's actually open trolling, like just like it felt like with the former Conservative government. Actually, is this ASMR? ASMR pisses me off, man. It's really annoying. It's just like people going. It's weird. No, you won't find me doing ASMR. Not least because I don't really have the voice for it, darling. I thought your cat had just dug up the old Queenie. Fred's useful for nothing. Frederick! This is what you get. Super tan. Free eyes. Playing the dickhead on Twitter. No. YouTube. Yeah, it was exclusively only rich twats on that. I need to do my video. What I'm going to try and do tomorrow, I mean, I don't know which... Tell me what you think that I should... because I don't know where to start, so I need a bit of feedback, right? Because there's so many different areas that I could be focusing on at the moment. So what I'm trying to do is figure out where to begin. Like, I'm going to do a video definitely on everything that's coming out about the possible end of Blue Labour, because who could foresee that would be a problem, acting like the people that got massively rejected last time. What could go wrong? But I've noticed that people are starting to turn on McSweeney, or briefings are starting to come out against him, and that's normally the beginning of the end for someone. People are starting to roast him a lot more, and people are starting to think, oh, Fred, look at him, he's gone all cute. He's doing his little kind of thing where he puts his paw over his face, which is very, very cute. But put a thumbs up for me in the chat. Whatever for. Would you like to? Yeah, let me know if you would like me to focus on this Blue Labour thing, because it's quite interesting, actually. I'm finding it quite interesting. Anyway. So, it's all starting to kind of get a little bit like change of tack from what my feelers, in terms of people are being specifically critical about McSweeney, and as a chief of staff he seems to be playing like more of a DOC, like director of communications role. It very much feels like his strategy, his vision, in lieu of any real cohesive vision from Starmer. And I think everyone can agree, yes please, okay, that'll be what I will record tomorrow then, after I get back from the dentist, because I've got a damaged molar at the back. Again, one of those things, that you really want to happen when there's no NHS dental services. So I've had to pay. Otherwise, they told me that with a possible like cracked molar, upper back where you chew, that I could be waiting 2 months just for an initial appointment. And then they were like, if you pay 50 quid, we can get you in on Monday. Fuck me. There's no NHS dental services anymore, like none. And I really hope I don't need anything extensive. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go on the game. Start selling feet pics. Set up an OnlyTans. There you go. Anyway, McSweeney. Yeah, they're starting to brief against him. And they're also... have you noticed that Starmer backtracked on the Island of Strangers comment? Even though he was like, oh, speechwriters didn't know. I didn't know. Mate, you're a human rights lawyer and you repeated it after everyone explained it to you when you gave an exclusive to GB News to take you to Albania. It's not flying. I want you to do better. I don't want to have to cane Labour, but don't be a lying prick. Just sack McSweeney. Fanny. Anyway, Peter Core. Oh, Peter! Love Peter. Absolute living legend. Thanks for the membership gift. Big love to you. Glad you're making more content. Missing the laugh out loud you gave us all whilst also educating us. Stay sane and smiling, Peter. Peter's a big fan of my cat video. If you've been following me for a while, you'll remember that I rescued these two morons when they were tiny little kittens, right? They had a very sad beginning. And I had a sad beginning because I'd had them a month when on Valentine's Day I found their brother and sister. I found Edie, named after Edith Piaf, rimming Fred. Rimming him. I thought they were just playing. So I started recording, walked over, realised in horror, Edie was rimming her brother. And that's the closest that I got to any action that Valentine's Day. So that was good. So yeah, Peter, there you go. I've relayed that for you as penance. Kieran Croissant, thank you. 999 super chat. For the impression alone, but also throw something in for the legal fund. Oh, thanks. I'm only going to be able to do it on a no-win, no-fee, I think, possibly. But those people tend to be sharks. So it will be like, pay up or lose your house. I hope he loses his house, personally. That's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to throw the fucking book at him. So thank you. But I will spend that instead on trying to erase my memory so I don't remember the rimming story. So thank you. Yuri Nymphektinov. McSweeney looks like the love child of Dominic Cummings and a digestive biscuit. Very good. Touche, yeah. That's a very good description, actually. Got a very sandy look about him, hasn't he? Like a sandy, planted Tory. I mean, this is a bad judgment call on Starmer's part too. Because I'm not being funny, right? If it's glaringly obvious, that a lake has got loads of like, I don't know how it would work out logistically, so bear with me. It's got like a long cable running to it, right? And someone has attached a toaster to that cable and they've just lobbed it in the water, right? You can see it, there's sparks. You don't get in the fucking water, do you? You go, oh, this might not be the best course of action because we've just got, this is getting tenuous now, slayed in the locals. So I better kind of backtrack on that, rethink, regroup, maybe get some different advisors in who aren't obviously fucking mental or shit. But no. Starmer was like, I think I'm going to wade into the river. Moron. Man needs vision. That's what he needs. Needs some fucking vision. Do you feel better about Starmer because he backtracked? I'll feel better when they've undone a lot of this damage, but the problem is they're already making the catastrophic fuck-ups and showing no sign of changing, and the change is coming too late. I want Labour to do well. I'm naturally a Labour voter, but I'm not tribal. Like, if they are total shithouses, I'll do it grudgingly to keep out a fash. Like, if in my area the choice is Reform or Labour, I'm not going to go voting for Green or Lib Dem, because that's going to help Reform, you know? Oh, hello, it's doing the little movie thing. Don't know why it does that. I feel like I'm doing a cat. Okie doke. It's not hygienist, mate. I've got a bloody hole in my molar at the back. I think I cracked it on some toffee. I take pretty good care of my teeth, but this was a, yeah, pretty bad sitch. I've lost my thread. What was I just ranting about? Okay, this is a really interesting question. Thank you, Ryan. €10 super chat. As an American, can you explain how Reform or any new party can rise so quickly? Not any party can rise this quickly. There is nothing organic about what is happening with Reform. Nothing. I mean, they are very, very, very skilled, like Hitler was, at getting the youth involved, because they are botting the shit out of all social media, and they're covering all bases, something that Labour is pitiful at and has always been pitiful at, and they're still not learning. And because we don't have media or tech regs at all, it's an open field for foreign interference, and what's happening is very much foreign interference. As the kind of Mueller report, some people say it's discredited. It raised some very important points about the 30+ million that was being put into foreign-owned bot farms. And the thing is, these people radicalise people online. So you will get countless accounts claiming to be British patriot accounts. You know, they'll have the bloody bulldog, they'll have the flag for people to shag, they'll have all of the hallmarks of looking British, right? But they're not British. They're based in Nigeria, probably St. Petersburg. They are flooding and creating kind of like an illusion of a false, like an illusion of mass consensus, false mass consensus. So they will kind of poke any innate bigotry that might be existing in those people, and they will push it and push it. And because of the way the algorithms work and there's no regulation, once you see one thing as a new like user or a new consumer of that content, you will be flooded with more, and it gets more extreme. It's almost like, you know, addiction. You know, they need harder and harder stuff in order for it to work. You know, it's really shockingly corrupt, and our system is not equipped to deal with it, because our entire system in politics is built on a kind of gentleman's handshake, a nod, and an assumption of honour. We don't really have a proper written constitution, so it's open for scammers, right? So in terms of Farage in particular and Tice et al., they are pushing an anti-net zero agenda whilst taking loads of money from fossil fuel companies. So they're worse than the Tories, because Tice is so blue-blooded, he makes Jacob Rees-Mogg look like a scally hanging around outside One Stop. Like, he is ultra-rich. And then that's before you even get onto the print media, which has a vested interest in promoting right-wing, kind of quite hard right-wing people. They know the Tories are dead in the water. Farage is the next thing. And then you've obviously also got all the Republican influence in terms of like Brexit, as I've spoken about loads before, being the petri dish for Trump, and seeing if this kind of level of mind fucking psyop can work, and it did. And then Brexit worked. Like, the only way I could describe it, I put a tweet out today saying, watching Farage and Reform gain is like watching someone that you know owes you a lot of money go out on the piss. Like, it's exactly the same feeling. Like, they're responsible for our economic downturn, and now they're coming in going, oh, look at that economic downturn. We're going to fix it. We're anti-establishment. What's hanging out in the fucking Carlton and members clubs and spaffing away what would be someone's weekly universal credit amount on like a bottle of champagne or a cigar or something. So in short, it's not grassroots, it's online radicalisation. And then it's also because they're so well linked in their private school background, of course they are, they don't have any trouble getting onto like platformed on the BBC constantly, which is headed up by people like Tim Davie, former Tory campaigner and candidate, Richard Sharp, who was the chair put in place by Johnson, was found to have helped him get an £800,000 loan. The BBC's headed up by Free Tories, so they're pushing Farage hard. They're allowing them to normalise far-right talking points, which is again giving that air of consensus and kind of credibility to bullshit and conspiracy by both sidesing stuff that's objectively false, like they did with the economic arguments for Brexit. And then you've got the tabloids and, you know, Murdoch, she wrote, who the guy just won't fucking croak it. So I hope that's kind of, I could go into more detail, but I feel like I repeat myself, but I hope that's an okay explanation. Give me a thumbs up if I need to elaborate more. But yes. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back down now because I just did a bit of a rant there. Oh yeah, and then there's obviously GB News, which is claiming not to be news and therefore getting away with everything. But then Ofcom was defanged, and the Tories tried to actually put a Tory in charge of Ofcom. The Tories are like infested everywhere. They're like cockroaches. They're in literally every single institution, and they only work in their own vested interests. So, you hear I'm a big fan of Rod Stewart. Oh, Diz is off. Thank you for moderating, Diz. Very much appreciate you, as ever. £2 super chat by Richard Grumpy Git. And Farage's 40 odd question time appearances. Not just Farage. There's Tice. I think they've had little Crafty Wank. They've had him on before too. So it's just a drip feed of normalising what used to be shit that we would collectively as a there's a cat under my desk. That just scared the absolute shit out. Hello, Edie. Edie's kipping underneath my desk, which is and she just tried to hit my feet, so that scared the living bejesus out of me. So yeah, I hope you're going to share that £2 with the whole chat. You're asking who is Crafty Wank? Are you Americans that are asking me this? If you are, tell me. Crafty is a weird little, I can't do the accent, YA man, you know, Geordie. My eyes, PJ. He's Darren Grimes, a bizarre caricature of a man. He looks like what would happen if you had to paint up a mannequin ready for a funeral. He looks like a haunted seaside ventriloquist dummy. He is bizarre. Frankly bizarre. And he started off as he apparently used to be like a Brighton based fashion kid, and then fell in with the wrong crowd, i.e. the right wing, and then started presenting on GB News. It's like the gateway drug to fash, isn't it? And then the little opportunist, he got sacked, so the little opportunist decided to I won't go any lower. decided to go over to Reform, like loads of ousted MPs who nobody wants anymore decided to. He's the only person I can think of that he looks like in real life is Pee Wee Herman mixed with a twat. Anyway, Frank Sidebottom, that's a very good. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the film Frank. It's very good and very weird. I would massively recommend it. Yuri Nufectinov, £2 super chat. Darren Grimes is a pervy Pinocchio. Oh, he's a real boy. Yeah, made of wood. Oh my god. He's a very, he is a gay fash. Yeah, he's a self-loather. So I'd like to introduce Grimes to the toe end of me steel caps. Way. Very good comment from Jervify Jervis there. Failed at fashion, so he just does fash. Very good. George. What a scourge, George. £5 super chat. Thank you very much, my dear. It's extremely frustrating that Labour have done nothing about the newspapers and the mainstream media and could be in serious trouble come the next GE. Tell me about it. If there's anything that, I mean, to be honest with you, me and my mates kind of agree on a lot of stuff, but it's head in your hands idiocy that they're not implementing any form of press regs. But I would say, because, oh no, the Sun hasn't turned a profit in eons, I would say the biggest, the thing that needs the most in terms of regs is tech. Big tech. Although at this point, it's like trying to stick a cork in the Titanic. But at least they could try. Because tech is where all the radicalisation is going on now. And the newspapers are just trying to keep up with tech. Yeah, for sensationalism and kind of like outrage farming. So, you know, social media is a very grim place nowadays. Very grim indeed. And anyone on Twitter, it's unusable, Twitter now. I occasionally just go on there for shits and giggles, or I post and I just don't read and I run, and then I might pop on like the next day and laugh and block and hide, but it's basically the dead internet theory in action. I can never say that fucking phrase properly. Dead internet theory. Obviously not the actual conspiracy, but similar, like inundated. Half of Elon Musk's followers aren't even real. Half of his millions. So yeah, George, I don't know what to do on that, because like the papers are going to shit on them anyway, so they've got literally nothing to lose. My tiny was just doing something then. I don't know what it's doing. It's freaking me out. It's flashing at me. I don't know what's going on. But I suppose it could come down to events, dear boy, events, when it comes to what's it called? The next election. Nobody votes based on sense or policy anymore. It's all about feelings and how easily they're conned. And I don't even think making a hard link to Trump's going to do the job either. So, yeah. I'd say tech's a bigger issue, but they're both a bad issue and they're just not dealing with it. Nigel, the haunted, badly varnished ventriloquist. Alistair M. Kerr, thank you for the £10 super chat there. Tan, now from a Scottish perspective, the BBC is so biased, anti-independence, been for decades, SBBC. Now I'm seeing it going to the reform track. Now I trust what I follow on YouTube for my news now. Yeah, it is a bit scary. That's another thing that's worrying me a little bit, I have to admit, because whilst I think that you would obviously follow, because you follow people like us, we're, you know, people like me, Max, Phil, Ollie, Adrian. Aid Thompson's just put up a new video and it's really good. You've got to watch it. He's so on top of it. We diligently fact check, and there are some outlets that are really good on that front. Not just the BBC. The BBC have, in my view, been gone for ages, and not just, I mean, obviously Scottish independence, of course they're going to hate that, because they're going to want to keep the union together as much as they can, just like they're relentlessly dedicating themselves to fucking capitalism, even though it hasn't worked for decades, or the hyper-normalisation of the prison system staying exactly the same even though it doesn't work, and they're just pouring our money into stuff that doesn't work. BBC has been biased for eons, and it shows no sign of stopping. And I'm so sorry, Scotland gets dragged into loads of our shit, and I don't blame you people for wanting, don't mean to sound like you people, I don't blame you for wanting to, you know, get away. I live 30-40 miles from London. I don't want to be associated with Westminster either. They're a bunch of slags. So yeah, someone just said they thought Darren Grimes looked like that shy singer in Father Ted. Oh, Ewan McLove. I have no willy. Anyway, Ryan, 5... Again, yeah, Alistair, I agree. Hard agree. But be very selective with your sources. Make sure that they're people that will reference visually their, or put the links in to support their views. I would say that broadly to everybody, because another problem is the conspiracy theorists, which the right rely on, are churning out and radicalising people en masse with bots. And when I say bots, I mean not just people posting stuff. I mean, they swarm comments and then push that video to the top of the algorithm. It's a multifaceted issue, and you feel mad. You feel like an old man yelling at clouds saying this shit, but it's true. Ryan, €5 super chat, thank you very much. In my opinion, one must separate the artist from the art, or you'll be left with polka music. But I understand your beef with Rod Stewart. I just don't think that he belongs at a festival that's always historically been a left-wing festival. Not just that, he's shit. And I'm not being anti-old. I think it was like 2009. I made a point of going to see Tom Jones play the Legend slot. I fucking love Tom Jones, and it was really good. It was really ace, and I think that with some people, if they're good, it's a bit easier. Like, for example, I was thinking this the other day. I love some of his recent ones are terrible, but I love like a lot of Woody Allen films. Like, I dig his humour. I do. I find it very difficult to enjoy it now, knowing what a weird perv he is. And I don't think you can always separate the art from the artist. And I think that can be a bit of a privileged view. If you're not affected by that person and what they do. For example, I would struggle if like someone that I really respected came out as a raging racist. I would not be able to enjoy their music. Trapped in the Closet, unintentionally hilarious by R. Kelly. Can't watch it now because all I think about is him being was never into P. Diddy. I always call him Biggie's Bez. He was just like, there was like Biggie doing all the rapping, and I think that's probably why P. Diddy him. But there would be Biggie doing all like really cool, like, you know, West Coast rap, and then you'd have P Diddy going, yeah, yeah, come on, and it's just like, this is why you've killed everyone, isn't it, Diddy? This is why you did it. This is why you did it. Right, I'm catching up. Fat Panda Cat 1979, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. It's amazing how many of these right-wing media knobs have allegations of abuse. Grimes, Wootton, Fox and Brand. Oh, almost as if the immense wealth and power and status of the far right and convincing everyone that conspiracy is real is a really good way to get people to believe everything and then think it's all some kind of ploy against you. Isn't it? Wootton, I know some very dark stuff about Wootton. But the thing is, unlike him, I don't make tens of thousands a month. So I can't publicly, easily, I'd have to think carefully about how I word what Wootton's done. But he was mentioned in the note of a very vulnerable young man. It's not that difficult to find out about that. And he was mentioned as having done something very bad to that young man. And now that young man's gone, and it's very difficult to know precisely what happened there. I don't know if there was a police investigation. Probably not, because the police don't really like to deal with men that do that, because they're all doing it themselves most of the time. Did someone just say hello, Maximilian? That's not our Max, is it? It's not our it's not Rose Pierre, is it? Oh, shut up. Hello. Oh, I was talking to Max in our group chat on WhatsApp. He's lucky enough to live in Europe, and I was trying to angle. I was saying that I'm going to Italy, and then he offered to put me up on his farm, and I was like, where is it? I'll bite your hand off for that. But yeah, Max is a lovely man. He keeps ducks and chickens, and he owns corgis. I think Max is secretly the queen. She didn't die. You're out in a tent watching this. You're watching me when you're in a tent. You should, what you should be doing is you should be lighting a wicked fire. It's a lovely night for it. It's a gorgeous, I can see the sun setting even at this hour. I'm scared I've turned the mic off again now. Concise and class. Wow, thank you. And direct. Not often called that. But yeah, go over and see Max. I mean, he's not struggling for followers, but defo go and see him. Yeah, Mr. Max is Mr. Max. Mr. Rose Pierre is Roddy Fantastic. Colin Foy, thank you for the £10 super chat. You've been calling out the fascists for quite some time, Tan. Keep up the great work. Yes, I have. Been trying. Been a bit tricky trying to do it as a woman, but you know, maybe they're just jealous. I did have some weirdos on Twitter last night. Some weirdo was like, oh yeah, but you're a man, like calling me a man, right? I get it all the time. Like any woman that's kind of like pro-trans gets wrongly accused of being trans. You know, if you think trans people just deserve to live their life with dignity, you're accused wrongly of being a man. And one of the funniest things was when they invented a name for me, right? And the name was Dennis. Was Dennis. So I mocked up a picture of me as Dirty Den, like serving the divorce papers to Angie, going, this, my sweet, is my birth certificate, which proves that I was born female. And they still do it, and it just proves that they'll believe anything. But the irony of it is, right, the guys that are accusing me of being a man have bigger tits than me. and I'm rocking D cups. I mean, they've got man titties. They're little pork lads with man titties. The irony. The irony. Anyway, things are getting deleted. Oh, have we got a few tricky ones in the chat? Have we? Thank you for all the likes, by the way. You still talking about bloody Rod Stewart? I've never liked him. Any man with a mullet that's singing "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" and it's not a piss take. No. What's going on here then? You lot loved Russell Brand when he was on the left. What happened? The allegations. Yeah, and the fact that he obviously went completely mental. Like he wasn't always that bad. You know, he was actually quite funny. I used to think he was quite funny. And then I started to have thoughts about him when he was encouraging people not to vote. And I was like, this was before I'd even, you know, started talking about politics to anyone besides boring my friends with it constantly, to the point where they'd just be, shut up, Tan, don't talk about politics. So it was all just waiting to spill out of me. But I was like, what's your game? Whose side are you on if you're telling people not to vote? And then there was all the allegations. Before that, I knew when he was on his way to the right. If men on the right find God or they go ultra Republican, you just know there's going to be a slew of allegations coming around the corner. It's their get out of jail free card, isn't it? Yep, Max was in the chat, Tan. You're not deleting Max's messages. I'd welcome Max's messages. Yeah, Max has a bunch of, but he doesn't eat the chickens. Or the ducks. They just he rescued them. He's a lovely chap. I love Glastonbury, although it is a proper battle of endurance. Like I call it pissed hiking. You will be. I saw a meme that kind of called me out a little bit, because it was like, you know, people that aren't in their 20s going to Glastonbury talking about, getting my steps in. So true, man. I did like nearly 60 miles of walking the last time I was there in oppressive heat. There's no shade. Like, you are likely to die at Glastonbury, if not only from exposure. I'm not talking like exposure. I'm talking like exposure. Okay. Camping out, protesting Brexit. Bit late for that. I have seen the AI old people at Glastonbury, and it's quite scary. I'm in the very, like, I know you guys watch Politics Social quite a lot. I'm very much not in the Graham and Mike camp on this. I'm in the Mikey camp and the Aid camp. Me, Aid and Mikey are very much like, this is very quickly going to get out of control and the implications are going to be life-changing. This isn't like a natural slow progression. This is exponential, you know, something that people are going to lose control on. It's not like going from like letters to email or faxes to email. This is like going to make it hard to know what's real unless it's right in front of your face levels of messed up. And social media, dating apps, etc. have already catastrophically changed human interaction, like for the worse, to the point where weirdos are now falling in love with AI chatbots. It was satire in her, or a warning. So, George, thank you for the £2 super chat. I just watched The Reckoning about Jimmy Savile. Find it very difficult. Is that the one that features Steve Coogan? I find it very difficult to watch anything about that kind of stuff, because Byline Times did cover some of the Wootton allegations, but there's a number of allegations. We're not talking about when he used the alias, but they get away with it. Like, charges being dropped isn't the same as innocence. Not having enough evidence to proceed is not the same as not guilty, you know. People always make that mistake. Oh, well, the CPS dropped the charges. They so often do. Like, the police force is institutionally homophobic, misogynistic and racist. But is Reckoning the one with... I can't Google it, so give me a little thumbs up if it is the one with Coogan. I've got a lot of time for... got a lot of time for him as an actor. Although when I met him, Steve Coogan was kind of like intolerably rude to me. Like, needlessly a dick. His much more famous mate was lovely to me. Urine Ninfectinov, nearly fucked that up. Move the over tan window back left. If only, mate. If only. If only I could. Wouldn't it be nice to not be living with fascists? In the open air where we belong. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up here now so it's not so bad. So I'm not doing that all the time. Dun, 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 dun. Finally caught one. Hello from a fellow Dennis. Hello, hello. I mean, I'm not being funny. Like, yeah, whilst I might not speak like this, like Keira Knightley. Oh, I look quite pretty. Whilst I might not talk like that all the time, I'm not exactly like ultra... I'm a bit of a tomboy. I've always been a bit of a tomboy. I'm more of a kind of Converse and, you know, denim skirt woman than a heels and clubbing and that kind of thing. But just because I don't talk like this and I'm not quiet and stroking kittens doesn't mean that I was assigned male at birth. This is the problem with the anti-trans people. They expect you to fulfill this perfect, already unattainable image of femininity, which pulls directly into what their real aim is, which is controlling women. First they came for. They won't stop there. Won't stop by calling gay people sexual deviants. It'll be on and on and on. Okay, my bestie Andy Thompson, thank you for the £5 super chat. My bestie likes to call my man boob. I'm going to start that again. My bestie likes to call my man boobs mockers, as it makes her giggle when I order a hot chocolate coffee. That was very good. Moobs like Jagger. Nothing against man tits. You know, people have them. Bodies can produce them sometimes. What I take umbrage to is a bunch of JD Sports clad domestic abusers with tits accusing me of being a man. I don't want to be a man. Only joking. Some of my best friends are men. Hey, see what I did there? Pygmalion, great name. Is that based on the... It was George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw who did Pygmalion, wasn't it? Or am I mixing that up? Am I mixing up my literary moments? When are you and Graham going to do a swear jar again? I'll do a swear jar with Graham again. That was kind of like my early introduction, but at the time I was even more ADHD and difficult to kind of pin down. So, yeah. Yes. Yes, with Steve Coogan. Right, I'm a bit behind on the chat here. I'm just kind of... Hi, Hugh Janus. If that's a real username, then I'm always turning the other cheek. Brilliant. Alison, thank you for being a mod. Are we having some problem with a bunch of people being a bit dickish? Kloopy UK, £10 super chat. Keep on preaching, darling. You're one of the few I want to hear a sermon from. Bet you say that to all the YouTube political content creators, don't you? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Chris C. Tan, do you think we should have a domestic abuser register to protect vulnerable men, women and children from abusers? We have Clare's Law, which is not effective or fit for purpose, because you have to know quite a lot of information about the person that you are checking up on. Like, you have to know their past addresses. It's well worth a go if you can. But it's probably because I put it on Twitter, Alistair. Because they love me on there. Got all the little bots, got all the little pork lads. I'm so glad that they can see me razzing them, but I can't see a word that they're saying. Poor them. Poor you. As if it's not bad enough being absolute morons as it is. Completely forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, domestic. Yeah, we don't really have that. And another area where, like, social media moderation is also massively transphobic, misogynistic, homophobic, racist, right? I have said very mild things that aren't even meant as an insult, and they've been removed and I've had an account warning. Whereas I've seen open transphobia, homophobia, misogyny go free. And an example of that is there are groups called Are We Dating the Same Guy on Facebook that have been going for quite a while. They're getting shut down by Facebook. And that is a place where women can see that not only is the guy that they're trying to check out to make sure he's okay, who they have a few concerns about, not only are they finding that he's often, you know, got a girlfriend or a wife, but he's on a register, or he has been done for DV before. And Facebook thinks that that's, you know, we found a way to have a neighbourhood protection scheme to warn each other about dangerous fellas, because women already have that. There's a guy in my town who's very dodgy, and he operates on the corners of like a social circle that I'm in. Women have warned each other about his problematic behaviour towards women. So we all know to avoid him. This is how we have to work, because these men will not get jailed and they'll be free to be on the apps the next day, and we need a way to keep each other safe, and Facebook's deleting them because, oh, God forbid the poor men's are held accountable. Mad. What have I missed? Oh God, Yuri, I hope your son is all right. That's a bit worrying. I hope he's all right. Keep us in the loop. Let us know that everything's okay. What's Nico saying? Quite interested. Probably, I don't know, something that makes him feel like he's got a big willy for a little while, which is how it normally... They'll never learn, will they, that, you know, abusing women online isn't an automatic penis enlarger. Like, doesn't work that way. Just doesn't work that way. If only. Yeah, big age, you can get people like that. But unfortunately, there is an awful amount of it operating disproportionately the other way. What is Nico saying? Yeah, alright, Yuri, I hope all goes well. That must be proper scary. One of my friends had a child with a heart condition. It's terrifying. Hyperplastic left heart syndrome. Is what okay? I'm just interested. I just want to know what he's saying. Like I'm quite curious. But you're doing a good job of keeping up. I know men can be the victim too. But the problem is, it's very difficult to. I can only speak on this as a woman and offer my perspective on it. I've known men that have faced DV, and it's awful. Whoever faces DV, the problem is we're living in a society where, a world where 90+% consistently, globally, of all violent and sexual crime is committed by men, globally. And I've known some proper, narcissistic women in my time, like awful women. But the threat of, and whilst all abuse is wrong, the threat of being unalived, I have to say that word as much as I hate it because I don't want to get banned, is considerably lower. Like, men do not get by women when they leave relationships. Very rarely it happens, that does not mean that I lack sympathy. I've helped a friend that's faced DV out of the situation and access counselling as I would any woman. But it's also really important that when, as a woman that has faced 5 years of constant daily threats and harassment just for speaking, that when I do speak on it, that men listen, don't necessarily self-apply it, and don't immediately feel like they have to make out that it's equal, because it's not, sadly, statistically not. And that can derail from the kind of broader issues that go on in that. So it's just really important to be mindful of that. I will amplify anybody that faces it, and listen to anyone and try and help anyone that faces it. But I also would like to have the freedom to speak about it without men feeling like they have to chime in and go, but men face it too. We all know men face it too. That just kind of diverts and kind of minimises the experiences that you might be talking about in that moment. I mean, the two people that have helped me the most in my week of crisis have been men. I've got so much time and admiration and respect for men, but I still should not be forced to preface everything that I say with #NotAllMen, because the good ones should know it doesn't apply to them, and they should have enough respect for me and my output to know that I'm not going to sit there and dismiss anyone's experiences with violence and abuse. So just want to make that clear. But obviously whatever you faced is unacceptable. No one has no one deserves to endure that. And sadly, you do tend to get talked over quite a lot as a woman, which is why my patience is very limited nowadays, because I've spent decades talking about this, and every single time I do, there's a guy who tries to center himself when I'm talking about my specific experience, and it's enraging. And that's how the person that did that to me got away with it, because he was centered and his lies were believed, and my truth wasn't, so I tend to get very frustrated with that. Punchy Boy 76, are you still a Starmer apologist? Are you still a Starmer apologist? He repeats it. I've never been a Starmer. Oh, again, are you a Starmer apologist? Can someone deal with that, Dick? No, I've never been a Starmer apologist. I've been a pragmatist who has basic comprehension of the limitations of first past the post. Yeah. I've never sat there and gone, I had hope, like everyone would, that it would be better. I've said things he's done well. I've said things that he has done wrong. I've been pretty balanced on Starmer. I've stuck the boot in where I've had to. I'm not happy with how he's doing things. Brigade, mate, you haven't upset me. And just before I say anything else, I just want to say that I don't want to belittle your experiences too. It's valid that if you've experienced it, you want to contribute to this conversation. All I was trying to do was explain that what's happened when I've tried to say my experiences online and why I sometimes have a kind of no tolerance, not in this conversation, but broadly, kind of like no tolerance approach to it. If I'm relaying something personal, but broadly, of course, I just wish that more men set up refuges for themselves, you know, and were better at helping each other and getting in touch with their feelings and supporting each other, because that is, you know, vulnerability is a strength as far as I'm concerned. I hate Morrissey, but he was spot on when he said it takes strength to be gentle and kind, because it does. But yeah, in terms of Starmer, like, I'm very unhappy with how he's done things, like letting McSweeney carry on for so long against all judgment shows that he has a critical lack of judgment, and he also massively lacks vision to a startling extent, actually. And he needs to, it's not about positivity, it's about reality, it's about not acting like Starmbot and actually trying to connect with people, because at the moment it's about as connected as a fucking lost poltergeist. Streeting, for God's sake, what a nightmare. But what I've said before with Starmer, what I think he needs to do is he needs to sack all of his spads, and he needs to get a new DOC. I couldn't believe it when, I've said it before, I couldn't believe it when the DOC left. I was like, they've got a fucking DOC? They've got a director of communications? They've got a communications person? Yeah, it was very, very weird. And he lacks, like, his own vision for the country. And what I fear he's doing at the moment is he's doing a Blair, because his strength, his number one strength, is domestic policy. So he is almost doing what Blair did, where Blair found a kind of place for himself on the global stage. Like, he was hanging out with, at least then we had Clinton. It wasn't as bad as fucking, what's his name? Brett Wall. If you use the tard word in my chat, I will ban you, because I don't accept ableist slurs in my chat. So I've given you a warning. If you use that word again, I will ban you. Or block you from my chats. But yeah, he's finding a place for himself on the global stage, and he is very good at the diplomacy side of it. The problem is he has not got a Brown back home who's handling all of the domestic policy, because Blair found a place for himself on the global stage because Brown had domestic policy sorted. Instead, we have Reeves going Osborne at home I'm wondering if she's going to face the boot in the reshuffle in September. I'm trying to figure that out. I think that could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. But yeah, I don't know really. I just know that they need to learn faster the lessons, because it's been terrifyingly slow for them to learn lessons. So thank you for watching, Mark. But yeah, it's been a very depressing start to a Labour government. I had a bit more hope that it would be better than that. Starmer, I think, has got until the end of the year, this year, because obviously it's going to be recess, and you've obviously got the benefits, the welfare bill vote, which he's climbed down from, but shouldn't have done it in the first place. Should have known that would be a disaster. So it's very difficult to call. I think if he continues in this way into the new year, he's never going to get out of crisis mode, and he's going to be probably, I don't know, further spiralling into the abyss. It's going to be like John Major when he took his hit. It's going to be like when Brown backtracked on calling the election. He's just going to be in constant crisis management mode, and you can't get anything done. So I don't know. Kieran Crossan, 999 super chat, thank you very much. Starmer needs to take a look at himself. The kneecap and Palestine action thing is so contrary to his earlier values. He defended people who did the same thing. Spot on. There was one of the very few good things that LBC's done lately was there was an exclusive by one of their journalists who found a protester that under, I think it was the dying days of Major, did criminal damage as direct action as a part of a group, and was just charged for direct action but caused millions of pounds worth of damage, and Starmer defended them. And I'm very worried about the action on protests, because they tried to stop the Supreme Court from ruling that the last Tory government's authoritarian protest laws, Labour tried to fight that and keep them. And I feel a lot of that is again being led by McSweeney, but he should know better, frankly. He's the boss man. He's acting like, I don't know, a twat. I don't know how to describe it better than that. But no, prescribing Palestinian action is bizarre and stupid, and people care about this. Like, you're a very foolish person if you ignore and fight things that people care about like this. Plus, it seems like every fight that the left have is immediately condemned and pushed down, whereas any fight the right have is legitimised and seen as for the good of the nation, you know. But no, thank you, Pete's Music. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I think I'm probably going to have to wrap up soon. Does anyone have any quick fire questions for me before I wrap up for the evening? Go and have myself a herbal tea, because I'm being all healthy. Any questions? Anything for anything? Alice Sturmker, Supertansky, the protest laws the government got through would make Scottish independent campaigns domestic terrorists. Yeah, I mean, just look at as I said earlier, the suffragettes, man. They did a lot of damage to property. You know, I think they firebombed something. They were bad bitches, you know. Zoran Mamdani. I like him, man. I think he's cool. I think he's very cool. He's a very cool guy. Thank you, Sarah. I think you are great too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. How's the garden going? It's all right actually. Yeah, it's not as overgrown. I did actually do some maintenance. A bit dry because it's like horrifically hot here. Like, I mean, it is still, I think, probably about 20 odd degrees or more. What's Starmer's favourite curry? Well, he's born to be mild, isn't he? So I'd probably go for a korma, extra mild, with 4 naan and chips on the side. Leapshin, why do you vape? Don't you think vaping's dangerous? I'd never, what's the word? What's the word? Endorse it. Like, I'd never say to someone, you should do it. But probably, I don't know. Supergrass, overrated or genuinely good? I like some of their stuff, man. I really like the Ali G sketch, Supertramp. My brother and I have been sharing old Ali G clips recently. Like, God, that guy was funny when he talks about giving drugs to dogs and animals, which no one should ever do, but in the context of the sketch, it's very funny. Richard Grumpy Git, £2 super chat, thank you. Question 2. JD Sports or Stone Island? Stony. They're always wearing one variation of the other, one or the other at a protest, aren't they? The suffragettes did use bombs, absolutely. What do you think of Radiohead? You see, that's another moment where it's what is that term that they use? Art over artist. I can't remember what it's called. I'm not in agreement with them on Palestine, but I can't make myself hate their music. Like, they're ingrained into my synapses as a band. I'm not massively. I'm not very happy with their reaction. So, yeah, okay, well, a very comfortable 18 degrees tomorrow in Fife. It's going to be 30 plus degrees here in Essex. I love Radiohead. I just don't. But Burial, I used to listen to them quite a few years ago. KLF or the Shaman? Probably the KLF. Some of the artists from the KLF have done some really good artwork. I saw one of their installations. It was like a big shipping container with like an entire little world built into it. I think it was a part of Dismaland by Banksy. You prefer Muse over Radiohead? Is that Wayne? I'm so sorry. Are you joking me? Like, Muse have done some great songs like Stockholm Syndrome, Muscle Museum, but it does feel a little bit like the band based all of their musical output on the last part of exit music for a film by Radiohead. So yeah, Muse, right? Once I started hearing the that he does a lot of breathing, it kind of ruined it for me. I do like them as a band though. I think they do have it. Like, a lot of their songs are pretty good. But what's my favourite Ali G sketch? I think the one with Supergrass is quite good. I don't think I have one in particular. Radiohead sounds better when you're 16. Don't agree. Depends if you were 16 when OK Computer came out though, doesn't it? Yeah, it's going to be very, very hot here tomorrow. I'm struggling with the humidity. I can do dry heat, just not humidity. Led Zepp or Black Sabbath? Led Zepp all day, son. I've got Led Zepp on vinyl, but I don't have Sabbath on vinyl. Although I think Sabbath are good though. Some Sabbath are very good. Mind you, if I was belting out a tune like old Matt Bellamy, that is his name, isn't it? Matt Bellamy. I'd probably have to do it every now and then too. Why are there so many Tommy Morrison? Oh, you're talking about old Tommy 10 names. Are there fanboys in the chat? I can't see any of them. I think I've been protected by the moderators. Thank you very much. Queen or ELO? Queen. Can't beat Mr. Blue Sky. But Queen are extraordinary. My cat Fred is named after Freddie Mercury. The boy cat. And the girl cat is named after Edith Piaf. So that tells you something about my preference. I wouldn't even have to think about Queen or ELO. Ultrasonic or the time frequency? I don't know what that is. Someone asked me earlier on what I was drinking, and it is elderflower cordial and water. No booze. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap this up soon, but my favourite comedian. Not one. I'll list some of them. Rick Mail. All time. Bob Mortimer, Vic Reeves. Tim Key is brilliant at stand-up. Stuart Lee. Love Stuart Lee. Vic and Bob, Rick Mail. Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh, I love Richard Ayoade. I watched the last one laughing, and I don't understand how those people managed for so long with Bob Mortimer. I would just have to look at him, and I would just... Oh, Doug Stanhope is cool, but he's a bit of a dodgy guy. He's a bit weird. But Doug Stanhope is what made me and Aid Thompson bond. And even though I couldn't get the video to work, Aid Thompson mocked me up. I don't know if you guys tuned in to watch Fuck Your Bins, which I did with Graham and Aid. Love Billy Connolly. Love Billy Connolly. I just can't think of them all off the top of my head. Aid Thompson, I bonded initially over our mutual love of Doug Stanhope. Limmy is quite funny too. And God, who else? I can't think off the top of my head. You get why people like Rick Mail, but not for me. Get out. Oh, Greg Davis. Graham met Greg Davis at Glastonbury. He met him, and he got him to record a video for his kids, for his partner's kids, to get them to go to bed. I've got a bit of a weird crush on Greg Davis. I have to say, a bit weird. Oh, Lily Savage was brilliant. So was the guy who was Dennis Pennis. I love Jordan Gray. She's brilliant. If I don't drink, Bill Hicks and George Carlin, obviously. Amazing. Sparkling water. If I didn't drink sparkling water, I'd never drink water. If it doesn't taste like television static, I don't want it. Harry Hill was... what's his name? Oh, God. Both of the people in Black Books. So you've got Dylan Moran and Bill Bailey. I've actually been re-watching in the last couple of days Spaced for like the 100th time. I love Simon Pegg. Oh, also Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith, the inside number 9 League of Gentlemen lads. They're national treasures as far as I'm concerned. Trigonometry podcast bros. I was talking to Jimmy the Giant the other day. He's actually, I think, going to go on trigonometry and try and like... Richard Pryor. Dave Allen. I remember when I was younger, Dave Allen was very funny. I used to quite like Lee Evans when I was younger, when I was a kid. But these are all by no means my favourites. Your daughter's in the crowd at Prodigy tonight. Oh my God, at Glastonbury, that's going to go off. I saw the full real lineup of the Prodigy twice. Once at Brixton Academy and the other at their homecoming gig in Braintree. I got to walk to that gig from where I was living at the time in Braintree. Yeah. Now Cleverley's district. Babylon 5 is a pile of shit. Get out. I was watching that exact episode the other night. Sean Locke. Oh, man. I miss Sean Locke. Yuri, glad to see your son's doing better. Blood thinners. Need to hydrate heavily for that. Red Dwarf. Oh my God, I loved Red Dwarf. Sean Locke, man, he was so naturally funny. He was so funny. Saw Prodigy Brixton. I had to save my friend because he had gone too hard on the gills, and I was completely sober that night. Apart from I had a couple of beers, but I wasn't indulging in that. I had to save his life. Susie Izzard, I was raised on her work. In college, always. Leapshin, that Babylon 5 comment is a spaced. Not the new series of Red Dwarf though. Harry Enfield, man, the Fast Show. The ukulele player. You sexy motherfucker. I'm not going to watch anything new. Yeah, Warfarin's a blood thinner. Yeah, in this heat it's probably dehydration. Maybe get some of those like little electrolyte sachets. Get some electrolyte sachets. Anyway, I am persevere. Oh, hello, my laptop's falling over. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hang on a minute. I haven't had that much of a technical issue tonight, apart from everything. With the sound and such, but no, it's a funny lady with ADHD. That's unheard of. Never heard of that. But no, I am. I'm gonna bugger off. I'm gonna go drink me some more bloody water. I've got 2 glasses of water on the go here. I was doing yoga this morning, sweating like a me in church. It was too much. I just thought I saw something in the background and it scared me. It really scared me. I don't know the names of the Red Dwarf episode, Leap Shin, but I would say I really liked the one because it plays on my mind a lot because of how much the right try to gaslight. Is the one where it's backwards world, where they end up on that planet where everything's backwards. And the gazpacho soup episode. The one with Dwayne Dibley and his triple thick condoms. That's a good episode. There's so many good episodes. Very difficult to pin one down, but no, I will be back this week making video content, and due to popular demand, give me a little heart tap if you do want to see me dissect the Blue Labour situation. I think there's a little heart thing on the screen, isn't there? I don't know how that works, but yeah, give me a shout. If I think that's probably what I'm going to start with. And I'm going to be doing a new weekly feature, which is called Disinformation Watch, where I am going to be monitoring the worst of the worst in terms of disinfo on mostly Twitter, because that's where the worst of it is, but also Facebook. And I'm going to be breaking down what's being spread that week. You know, whether it's like, oh, Muslims are trying to ban Christmas, or the sun, you know. They're stopping the sun from coming through. They're going to put burqas over the sun. You know, I'm going to be doing like the British Empire. Shit. I love that TV show. And Murder Most Horrid. And Psychoville. But no, I'm going to be doing that. God, I'm going peak ADHD here. Probably on a Wednesday. I don't know if it's going to be a live stream. I could do it as a live stream, or I could do it as just a kind of a regular video slot. But I'm going to try and be a little bit more... and Green Wing's brilliant. More regular content. Anyway, I'm getting so distracted by the app. So thank you to everybody, boys, girls, and everyone in between, for tuning in this evening for my Sunday service. And I will definitely be back next week. I'm going to do a little poll on a post, I think, to see which time you bellends would prefer that I do it, because I get a little bit unsure of what the best time of day is to do it. Differs a bit in summer, because it's all like, hey, sunshine. Shit, my thing just moved then. What was going on? But yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time, as my friend Adrian would say, stay bouge. Oh, and go over and watch my friend Aid Thompson, Other Disappointments, latest video, because it's boss. Pop over to his channel. He's put a lot of work into it. It's really good. Go check out his bloody video. But from me, thank you and good night.